What's up, SnEaKyNation? SnEaKy P here, back with all the news after week number 5 of our San Francisco 49ers franchise, where the Niners picked up their first win of the season over the Arizona Cardinals. Next up, we have the 4-1 Buffalo Bills. Before we get into this game, let's go ahead and check out some of the highlights from week number 5. It was a defensive battle in San Francisco on Thursday night. 3rd and 7, Gabbert on the first drive finds Torrey Smith. That was a big gain that would set up this touchdown by Vance McDonald. The Niners going on top early, 7-0. The Cardinals looking to answer, didn't happen. They would punt the ball away, but then Marcus Cooper would nab the ball right back on the interception, setting them up with good field position. It'll be 2nd and 3. Here is David Johnson with a nice run down the right side, setting up 2nd and 7, and then Michael Floyd into the end zone. We have a tie ball game, 7-7 here, as the Cardinals have the ball back later on in the second quarter here. That is a sack. Chris Davis making it happen. It'll be 2nd and 9 as the 49ers took over into the end zone. Torrey Smith, just under 3 minutes to go before halftime, 14-7. However, that is a lot of time for the Cardinals to work with, as Brown, a nice catch down to the 49ers territory, and then the fumble is forced and the Niners would recover. 1st and 10. They still have time before halftime, but Matthew would get the ball right back for the Cardinals. 47 seconds to go there. 1st and 10 over the middle. Brown would get the Cardinals in field goal range, and they are going to try to get a touchdown here. 1st and 10. However, pressure from Aaron Lynch would get to him. 2nd and 13. They kicked the field goal right before halftime, and the Niners had a 14-10 lead. However, early on in the second half, here is David Johnson making a big-time play down to the 38-yard line of San Francisco territory on 4th and 3, a fake field goal, and Drew Stanton would break the tackle, keeping the drive alive for the Cardinals there. A little bit later in the drive, Palmer looking for a touchdown. He's going to fumble, though. That is Ahmed Brooks forcing the fumble and recovering, and the Niners would take over with a 4-point lead there. A little bit later on in the third, now under 4 minutes to go, the Cardinals with the ball back, pressure coming, and he is going down. A theme of the game, the Niners doing a great job of getting pressure on Carson Palmer, and that would set up Chris Owusu down the left side of the field on a fake screen, giving the Niners a 2-possession lead. Again, another sack for the 49ers defense. This is Tart making the play this time, as they are up by 11. 3rd and 19, though. The Cardinals looking to answer, and David Johnson will deliver there. Nobody paying attention to him, and that is a big first down that would set the Cardinals moving up down the field here. 1st and 15 after a false start. Ronald Blair going to force the fumble. However, the Cardinals do recover and get all of the yards back, unfortunately, there. That'll make it 3rd and 4 later on in the drive, looking for the end zone, and David Fells wide open. That is a touchdown for the Arizona Cardinals, 21-16. Carlos Hyde has other plans, or does he? Breaking some tackles, but then the fumble. Buchanan will recover and give the Cardinals the ball back with a chance to take the lead. 4th and 1, David Johnson finds a way to get the first down. However, it's going to be 3rd and 9 here. They need a first, and that is a sack for DeForest Buckner, bringing up 4th down. The Cardinals trying to kick a field goal. Demetrius McCray, signed in the preseason, has other plans, and he is going to get the block. The Niners will take over, and the Cardinals will not get the ball back until it is just a bit too late. You see a 3rd down conversion there. You see a 3rd down conversion here. They will have the ball back, but they're only going to have 15 seconds to work with. They need a big-time play here. Carson Palmer down the field. It is tipped up, and Marcus Cromartie will come down with the 49ers winning 21-16 to get their first win of the season. Definitely something we are thrilled about, but we still got to get some practice reps in. We already have gold on defense. Let's go ahead and practice the flood here. However, I accidentally clicked out with the first results here. Typically, I've been going to get gold all the way through, and I just made a mistake here. So we have one shot at it, pretty much. Let's see what happens, and Gabbert goes down early on with the sack. On the second play here, Vance McDonald will deliver. 3rd play action on the right side. McDonald again making a nice play. It'll be the 4th attempt here down the right side, and McDonald unable to hold on to the ball. That'll bring up the last attempt of the drive. Pressure coming, looking down the field, and Torrey Smith getting open on the play. However, we have to settle for the silver again. I just misclicked on on it. I apologize for that. Next up, though, let's go ahead and answer some questions from the press. All right, question number 1 is coming from Eli Treadway. 49ers have been struggling on offense and defense. Will you be focusing more on improving the offense or the defense in this offseason, or will it kind of be a balance of both? Right now, I think with the way our team is playing, we are going to have to just address best player available. Whoever we see that we feel like can step in immediately and contribute, that's really what we need to focus on. Obviously, defense has been a huge issue for this team. But offense hasn't really been much better. The best player that is available that is going to help us improve as a team is probably the guy that we are going to target. Next up is Mr. Awesome Chris. Will Owusu get a bigger role in the offense in the upcoming weeks? Owusu has been very hit and miss for us. He comes out and he makes these huge plays for us, but then you see him make some drops that we don't like to see either. We are very happy with what he has been giving us. Obviously, we have some players returning from injury soon, but I do think it's safe to say we are a better team with Chris Owusu on the field, and we are definitely going to be looking for him a bit more. And then Giggsy Hunt, do you think Carlos Hyde would be a better fullback because of his strength? Right now, we are happy with Carlos Hyde at running back. Not to say he couldn't play fullback, but we view him as a running back right now. Ideally, we'd like to find a speed guy to go next to him to kind of have that thunder and flash kind of feel. But right now, we're pretty happy with him at running back. No plans to move him to fullback. That'll be all for the press questions. Let's go ahead and check out the stats from around the league. The Patriots are going to send the Browns to their first loss of the season, 28-21. The Patriots improved to 3-2 on the year. The Browns falling to 4-1. Tom Brady throwing 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. McCown only 1 touchdown, no interceptions for him though. Blunt, Johnson, Williams, and White all running for a touchdown. So it's not typical that you see your team running for more touchdowns than Tom Brady's throwing for, but it's going to happen here today. Corey Coleman kind of held in check. We saw a big game from Edelman and Gronkowski, though. Sacks, a bunch of players getting involved. Chris Long, the Patriots did a good job putting pressure on the Browns today. 2 interceptions, though, both of those coming from the Browns, though. 3 fumbles forced. Only one of these is going to be recovered for the Patriots. Ultimately, it was enough to get the victory. 26-7, the Lions going to beat the Eagles. The Lions improving to 5-0 on the season. The Eagles falling to 1-3. Not like the real-life Eagles at all. The Eagles doing a great job so far. 3 touchdown catches for Theo Riddick here. Zach Ertz is going to have a touchdown for the Eagles. Defensively, Hicks leading the way in tackles, sacks, 2.5 for Brandon Graham. He has been phenomenal so far this season. Bradham going to get a sack for his new team as well. DeAndre Levy with 2 interceptions, and then Glover Quinn will add 1 as well. No fumbles on the day. 28-11. The Colts going to get a victory over the Chicago Bears. The Colts improving to 3-2 on the year. And Scott Tolzien has been doing a pretty solid job filling in. Jay Cutler struggling, barely throwing for 150 yards. The Bears would fall to 2-3 on the season. 94 yards on the ground for Frank Gore. Dwayne Allen, 5 catches and a touchdown for him. Another touchdown for Dorsett as well. And T.Y. Hilton getting involved as well. Jeffrey kind of held in check in today's game. Sacks, we have Bullard, the rookie, getting 1, and another rookie for the Bears. So the Bears rookies stepping up and making some plays. Walden and Kyle Fuller going to get the interceptions on the day. Fumbles forced, Bullard, again, the rookie that we just talked about, and then Henry Anderson, a second-year pro there. None of those fumbles were recovered, though. 23-13, the Titans going to beat up on the Miami Dolphins. The Titans improving to 2-3 on the seasons. The Dolphins falling to 2-3. Pretty good game from Derrick Henry, 98 yards. He did fumble the ball. Definitely not something they want to see. Didn't get a touchdown, but still, getting 98 yards is pretty solid. Delaney Walker would have a touchdown. Kenny Stills would have a touchdown. And Landry would have a touchdown on the day. Jenkins, 19 tackles, 16 solo on the day. He would also have a sack, as well as Brian Arakpo there. Interceptions, Woodyard and Fletcher going to make the plays of the day for those defenses there. Fumbles, Jenkins forcing a fumble, Kiko Alonso and McCourty. McCourty would recover 1. No other fumbles would be recovered. 24-17, the Redskins going to beat the Ravens here. The Redskins get their first win of the season to improve to 1-4. The Ravens falling to 1-4, and Flacco just continuing to struggle. I actually missed his stats right there, but he has not been well so far this season. Forsett, 9 catches out of the backfield and a touchdown for him. Doxson going to have a touchdown as well. Iheanacho with 10 tackles. Did I say that right? I don't even know. Kerrigan, a sack and a half. Mason Foster going to have a sack as well. Interceptions on the day. None on the day. So maybe Flacco didn't do horrible. I don't know how many touchdowns he threw for. I just completely missed it. I apologize for that. The Redskins would recover one fumble as well. 35-13, the Vikings going to beat the Texans. The Vikings improved to 4-1. The Texans falling to 2-3. Bradford, 4 touchdowns on the day. He did throw 2 interceptions. Adrian Peterson, 97 yards on the ground for him. Charles Johnson, 4 catches, 53 yards. The touchdowns, though, Kyle Rudolph, right, is going to have one. Adrian Peterson and then Matt Asiata making the plays out of the backfield for the Vikings there. Defensively, J.J. Watt with 12 tackles and add on 3 sacks. 2 sacks for Floyd there, 1.5 for Griffin. A lot of sacks going around in today's game. Interceptions, 2 for Jonathan Joseph. Cole and Xavier Rhodes going to have an interception as well. Fumbles, we have a few being forced here. J.J. Watt, Griffin, Robeson, and Barr making the plays there. Then fumbles recovered, Anthony Barr. 31-13, the Steelers going to get the victory over the New York Jets. The Steelers improving to 2-3 on the year. Ben Roethlisberger really having a good game today. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. The Jets falling to 1-4 on the season. Le'Veon Bell has been killing it all season long for the Steelers, though. Decker had a pretty solid game there as well. 2 touchdowns for Ladarius Green. Shazier with 10 tackles. Harris with 9 sacks. 2 for Richardson. 1 for Jenkins and 1 for Malden there. Interceptions, Timmons, Mitchell, and Golden getting 3 interceptions there for the Steelers defense. No fumbles on the day. 35-31, the Falcons going to get a victory over the Broncos here. The Falcons improved to 3-2. The Broncos falling to 1-4. Simeon really struggling, 2 of 2. Actually, he's filling in for Paxton Lynch, who was the starter, but Simeon not really doing a whole lot there. Those turnovers coming back to haunt them. But look at Marcus Colston, 10 catches, 169 yards for the Falcons. A great new weapon for Matt Ryan there. Sacks, we have 2 for Jarrett here, 1 for Starks, Babineau, and Reed on the day. Interceptions, so many interceptions, 6 interceptions totaled. Unbelievable, a game full of turnovers here. Fumbles forced, none there. It was all interceptions. 31-21, the Cowboys going to get the victory over the Bengals. The Cowboys improving to 4-1 on the year. The Bengals falling to 2-3. Both quarterbacks, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but 343 yards. For the quarterback, Dak Prescott. Pretty solid game for Ezekiel Elliott as well. Brandon LaFell, 9 catches, 102 yards. 3 catches, 103 yards for Bryce Butler there, finding his way into the end zone. Defensively, McLean leading the way with 10 tackles. Sacks, we have 2 for Carlos Dunlap, 1 for Sean Lee. Then Dansby and Atkins would split it there. Lee, Dansby, McLean, and Burfict getting the interceptions on the day. And then fumbles forced, we have 4, Kirkpatrick, Aloka, Thornton, and Tapper, the rookie out of Oklahoma. Fumbles recovered, Thornton would get it there. 28-10, the Rams continue to play well and are beating the Buffalo Bills here. The Rams improving to 4-1. The Bills get their first loss of the season to fall to 4-1, and this is a big game because next up, the 49ers have the Bills. So, you know, getting a little bit of a scouting report here. It's going to be Jones and Watkins leading the way, and Watkins is such a threat. We are going to have to keep an eye on him in the game today. Corey Graham leading the way with 12 tackles. Zach Brown with 10. 2 sacks for William Hayes. Robert Quinn getting a sack. So a lot of sacks for the Rams here, and if we could kind of force, you know, Tyrod Taylor into making some difficult decisions. We did do a good job getting pressure on Carson Palmer. Hopefully we can keep it up against the Bills. 14-11, the Chargers going to beat the Raiders here. The Chargers improved to 4-1. The Raiders fall to 2-3 on the season. Not the start they were looking to get off to here. Receiving, Keenan Allen, 5 catches, 57 yards. Travis Benjamin would add a touchdown on the day. Defensively, Atachu leading the way with 11 tackles. Sacks, 1 sack for him. Khalil Mack. Manti Te'o is going to add a sack as well. Interceptions, Aldon Smith and Brandon Flowers making it happen. Next up, we have the Giants taking on the Packers. The Giants here would improve to 3-2. The Packers falling to 2-2. 30-24 would be the score. Eli Manning, 4 touchdowns, only 1 interception, only 1 touchdown. On the flip side for Aaron Rodgers, getting outdueled by Eli Manning there. Odell Beckham Jr., a monster game with 185 yards. Randall Cobb had a great game as well, though, for the Packers. Jake Ryan leading the way with 12 tackles. He'd add a half a sack. Jason Pierre-Paul and Hankins each getting a sack as well. Interceptions, 1 for Randall, the second-year pro out of Arizona State. Last game of the week, we have the Panthers taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Panthers would get the win, trying to revive their season here. They would improve to 2-3 on the year. The Bucs falling to 3-2. Not a whole lot going on through the air there, but Cam Newton getting 2 touchdowns on the ground. Receiving, Ted Ginn, 7 catches, 54 yards. Greg Olsen would get a touchdown. The other touchdown going to Mike Evans, who was held to only 2 catches on the day. Alexander, 12 tackles. Luke Kuechly with 9 sacks. Luke Kuechly, a sack and a half. McDonald, McCoy, Glanton, and Ely each adding a sack as well. Interceptions, 1 for the rookie out of Samford, James Bradbury there. And no fumbles on the day. Eli Manning winning NFC Offensive Player of the Week, 29-41, 381 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and an interception for him. Levy with 2 interceptions and 8 tackles. J.J. Watt, 3 tackles, fumble forced, and 12 tackles. And then Roethlisberger, only 155 yards for him. He did throw for 3 touchdowns, but not a whole lot of yards to win AFC Offensive Player of the Week. As we get on to scouting, a defensive tackle, Barry Colbert here. He is a prototype, might be athletic. I like the pursuit, not much else though. Connor Wilkinson, a running back, good juke, good carry, good ball carrier vision. Might be a guy keeping an eye out if we want to compliment to Carlos Hyde in the running game. At tight end, we have Duncan Smiley out of UCLA, 6'5". Stats are not really living up to what I'd like to see, but that doesn't really mean anything with tight ends as much. Kadarius Folston out of Oklahoma, good release, decent catching there. Only 5'11", we'll keep an eye on him. But look at this guy's name. Terrell out of Stanford, a speed wide receiver. Decent stats. I don't know what his catch is. We do see a spectacular catch, but his catch would be lower than that. And then a tight end out of Ohio State. He is a vertical threat. Okay catching. He's 6'4". Might have a lot of speed, though. Worth keeping an eye on him. Let's go ahead and check out the Bills lineup. Tyrod Taylor leading the way, 84 overall out of Virginia Tech. E.J. Manuel going to be the backup at running back. LaShawn McCoy, we know how good he is. And then the former 49er Reggie Bush going to be his backup at fullback. Austin Johnson, wide receiver. Sammy Watkins is a guy that we are going to have to keep an eye on. James Jones and Robert Woods, veteran guys that can make some plays, but it really comes down to Sammy Watkins and if we can control him. They do have a great tight end in Charles Clay as well. And a decent offensive line here, something that we do have to keep an eye on. Obviously, McCoy is a very good running back. So a lot of weapons in this Bills offense. For a Niners team that has given up a lot of big plays, it's definitely something to worry about. Defensive line led by Darius here. At left outside linebacker, they have Jerry Hughes. Middle linebacker, Preston Brown and Zach Brown. And then right outside linebacker, Shaq Lawson, the rookie out of Clemson. Cornerback, they have Gilmore and Darby, the second-year pro from Florida State there. Definitely some playmakers. Aaron Williams going to be at free safety, and then a strong safety, Corey Graham. So it should be an interesting week. The Niners getting their first victory of the season, going up against a very good Bills team that just got their first loss of the season. Maybe the Niners have some momentum. Maybe the Bills are questioning themselves a little bit. I don't know. It's going to be a very tough game. It's going to be interesting to see if the Niners can come out and steal one in Buffalo. It's going to be a tough one, but we'll see what they can do. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Later.